All right, everybody, we're back one more time on the truck here. Just been going through some stuff. If you've been watching, you've seen the one struggle we've had that we're still working on that I think is going to ultimately require us to get a part/upgrade to fix. But we're going to move on to the brakes because my son's going to take this and drive it up for hunting. So we're just going to check all this out before he goes. There's a little rust on the master cylinder thing here, but nothing alarming. That's like definitely just service rust stuff. Fluid looks pretty dark. I've opened the top of that. It still looks like brake fluid, but just a little dark. Also, we're gonna go ahead and get a wheel off on both sides here. Excuse me while I walk around and check this stuff out and see what we got going on underneath. Because on this tire, obviously we're up in the air and it spins, but I can feel it kind of drag. And when we first jacked it up, it was didn't want to move very much. So anyway, we're going to use my new Christmas present, which is this Makita Impact. Been replacing my tools I lost in the flood as I go, but that was a Christmas present. We're going to use that, get these things off, and we'll come back at you once we got them off and show you what's behind there. All right, we're back at you. I'm going to start off with this thing. So this is this Makita. It's a brushless, really nice one. Works awesome. No issues at all on that thing. I think it has like adjustable speeds and different stuff. So this isn't a product review video, but it is worked great. I've had Makita stuff before and it works good. Pulled those right off, no problem. So what we will do though is come back down here, working with my light guy. So looking at the brakes, obviously there is some rust down here. I think if you're from the Midwest area like Kansas and all that, this don't look bad at all. And I mean, I get it. It's surface for the most part. There's not really huge issues. A little bit of flakiness going on, like right there, just a tiny bit of flakiness. But anyway, what we're going to end up doing is ordering new upper and lower control arms, it looks like. New shocks. As you look at those things, they're kind of old. The rubber's old. Down there at the bottom, that looks kind of crusty. And you look at the rubber at the bottom of that thing, that's not good either. Sorry, our lights are kind of all over the place. But it's, you know, we're going to do that. Upper and lower control arms. Shocks, and then whatever other rubber stuff we need. Brakes, on the other hand, there's no lip on this at all. I mean, there's some, you can see a little bit of waves, but there's no lip. It's nothing crazy. If we come over here, you can see, I'll work the light a little bit, but there you can see the pads are good. So we are not going to do anything with the brakes. The calipers looked a little bit rusty too when we were looking from the backside, but they're not bad. So I think everything's good. We've stomped on the brakes, so I think that all checks good. So what we will do though is I got my my wrench out for the bleeder screw there. We're going to go ahead and bleed the brakes and get new fluid in, because that fluid that's in there looks pretty bad. And we're not going to do anything fancy. We're just going to take this little O'Reilly's .3 and put that in there, and that'll cover us. So that's what we're going to do for the brakes, because that worked out all right. We don't have to do anything with it. So we'll get set up so we can start bleeding brakes, put somebody in the cab and all that stuff. So that'll be the next piece here. So we'll come back at you once we get all set up and get working on bleeding the brakes. But that's going to be tomorrow, because it's like 10 o'clock at night. We were just checking to see if we need to order parts. And we don't need brake parts, but we do need the suspension parts. So off to the computer to order, and we'll bleed brakes in the morning. So this just pulls off. It's just a rubber cap. So that comes out. That's your sensor right there. That floats up and down, see? And that tells you if you fluid, so that's what that is. I could disconnect that connection right there, but I'm probably not gonna. I'm just gonna take this and set it in a towel and just lay it over here to the side. But that's that. And then you can see on top of here, it even says use .3. So that just, there you go. So we're gonna move this. I'll move this little piece right here too. So we can keep topping this off and get all this old gunky looking stuff out of here and put some new stuff in. So that's all we're gonna do there. And that way we'll be ready to start pouring fluid in. All right, everybody, we're back. This wasn't really a how-to video, but so this, it's better than it was, definitely, but I think the only way to really get all this out, because this is original, I'm pretty sure the brake fluid was original because the caps on the bleeder screws were original. The front ones even like broke off, so that was however many years old brake fluid. As you can see, this got some rust on it, but there's rust like down in the bottom of the brake fluid thing there. So it's, you know, it's an old brake system. Everything works fine. We moved a bunch of fluid through it. We probably put 3/4 of a bottle. The other thing I did is I went and got, this was just an old empty soap thing, but I used the pump on here to pump all the fluid out of that reservoir, and you can see that's what it looked like. Not good. Filled it, pumped it all the way down to the bottom, filled it all the way back up with clean brake fluid, pumped that out too. So this is actually diluted. That first time I pumped it out of there, because you know, I stuck the thing all the way down the bottom, trying to suck out the worst of it. Yeah, so that's what came out of there. Not the best, like I said. Now the stuff coming out of the bleeder screws, that was pretty dark and nasty looking too, but it cleared up. And like I said, I filled up like 3/4 of one of these big brake fluid bottles. So this is the one, because I had like 1.5. So there's probably that much fluid we ran through the different bleeder screws. You know, just my son in there pumping it, and then me working the bleeder screws. But that's what we did to get the brakes done. Like I said, they checked out fine, they work fine. Pads are good, rotors are good. So anyway, doing a little quick brake check and kind of a fluid flush on this thing the best we could without really going bananas. Like I said, we don't have the air assisted vacuum thing either, but seeing how this looked, really what I'm going to look into doing is just getting a new one of those, which you can get from O'Reilly's or whatever. It's not super expensive either, like less than 50 bucks, I think. And replace that, so that way that whole piece right there is new. Can't do anything about all the hard brake lines, what might be going on in there. We're going to replace the front calipers, you know, down the road eventually, and that'll address that. But it just is what it is. So that's what we did. This is what we got out of it. I know this wasn't like a long, exciting video, but just trying to keep you guys up to date on kind of steps we're taking as we have an auction buy. Like I said, this was from the Schroeder family collection, but really it's the Schroeder dealership, based on the number of cars they buy and turn around and flip. But yeah, good truck overall. They had done a decent amount of work on it. They did not do the brake fluid, so it was nasty. But anyway, we're gonna move on. Gonna go buy a couple vacuum hoses, button this whole thing up, and then we'll be ready to go. And we'll drive it until we make a big change. Right in that area you're looking right there. that is gonna look nothing different and nothing like that. It's gonna be completely different in a couple weeks once we get the parts and stuff. So come back, subscribe, and stay tuned to that so you can see what we're doing with this old 86 Toyota.